Ayun. So, a pleasant day to you guys. I am Zarina Macy Alvarin, the Vice President for Academic Affairs of the Federation in 2024 to 2025. And today, we will be discussing a fundamental topic in financial management, which is capital budgeting. So, for this lesson, I believe that marami talaga siya and heavy siya when it comes to solving. So, for this tutorial, we will be focusing sa pagsosolve talaga ng mga problem. Although, bibigyan ko kayo ng kahapyaw sa theory, pero it's more on ano ba yung capital budgeting, why we do it. Ayun. And after that, I will give you yung mga pro forma and yung mga formulas na gagamitin and dapat na ma-recall nyo for the solving part. Ayun. For the problems naman, bibigyan ko kayo yung mga kadalasan lumilitaw sa exam, though hindi natin magagaranti yun. Pero at least yung basic concepts is naiintindihan niyo. Okay, guys? Ayan, so let's start. So, capital budgeting. What is capital budgeting ba? Capital budgeting, ayan, it's the process of allocating resources for capital, investment, expenditures, and etc. It helps companies in determining what investments to make and assesses the project's profitability along with its risk. Bakit nga ba nagka-capital budgeting yung firms? Siyempre, yung mga firms natin, sabi nga dito, assesses project's profitability, alam naman natin na ang main goal nila is to be profitable, di ba? Kaso, how do you become profitable? You have to invest or you have to budget your capital talaga para mabigyan ng value yung company mo. Sabi nga dito, what will add value to our company? And what adds value to our company is um, the investments or the projects that our company partakes. For example, I am a manufacturing business. Siyempre, kapag gusto kong i-expand yung business ko, I would invest sa mga machinery or equipment. If hindi naman doon, I would probably expand and find another location to build another plant. Ngayon, capital budgeting is used when we want to make long-term investments, which are usually more than a year. And hindi siya unusual for it to last for decades. Minsan nga may 25 years or 10 years, ganon. And ayun lang naman, important talaga siya kasi nga, we have to estimate kung ano man yung mga magiging value ng investment na to. And syempre, if in the future of its life, kung ano mang asset yon, syempre meron yung lifespan, kailangan nating i-take into consideration ano yung mga possible inflows and outflows sa lifespan niya na yon. Ayun. Yun lang naman, and then we can go on dun sa mga pro forma natin and formulas. Sa capital budgeting, when you say capital budgeting, ang madalas na tinutukoy natin dito is cash flow. And for that, ayan, this is the cash flow pro forma. And mag-start tayo sa earnings before depreciation and taxes. Sometimes, EBITDA yung tawag dito kasi minsan may interest din na nilalagay. So, earnings before interest, depreciation, and taxes. Yun yun. And the first step is laging to less the depreciation. Bakit? Kasi hindi naman siya cash expense. So, ayun. With that, we will get the earnings before taxes. And then, after that, syempre, ibabawas natin yung taxes. These are usually given, rate na siya. Pero kung hindi siya rate, ginigive na siya as its mismong value na usually. Ayun. So, multiply mo lang yun by the rate to get the taxes and then ibabawas mo sa earnings before taxes and then you will get the earnings after taxes. Ngayon, you will add back the depreciation. Bakit? Again, nasabi na nung una, kasi non-cash expense siya and wala siyang effect sa cash flow natin. With that, you will arrive at the final cash flow. Ayan. So, when doing capital budgeting, meron tayong three methods na pinaka-commonly used, and that is the payback method, the net present value, and the internal rate of return. For payback method, ang sabi dito, it is the time required to regain the previous investment. Paano ba ginagawa yung payback method? Usually kasi, in payback, we only take into account the number of years before we get back ano man yung perang inilabas natin for the investment. So, for example, naglabas ako ng 50,000 this year. And then, next year, after 1 year, makakakuha ko ng 25,000. After another year, makakakuha ko uh, 22,000 na lang. 'Di ba? And then after the third year, makakakuha ko ng 20,000. Kailan ko siya na-earn back? That's right, dun sa third year. Pero not the entirety of the third year. So you have to calculate yung entire time na it took to get back your money. Ayun. And then, for the next one, we have net present value. Ito yung sum of the present values of all inflows and outflows related to a project. Um, Basically kasi, ang net present value, mas reliable siya kumpara sa payback method. Why? Kasi nga, sa net present value, take into consideration yung time value of money. Unlike in payback, hindi natin nako-consider yon kasi as is lang yung mga amount na ginagamit natin. Ayun. And then, the next one is yung favorite nating lahat, yung internal rate of return. Na-encounter na natin ito in financial accounting and reporting during solving sa financial assets at fair value yata, as well as yung mga receivables. Ayun. And payables. And ayun, for IRR, it is the investment profitability of a project as a return of percentage. This method, dito natin gagamitin yung pinakamadugong interpolation kasi honestly, kung hindi yun yung gagamitin natin, nagta-trial and error talaga tayo ng super, 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 super tagal. And hindi naman natin kaya yun. So we really have to do the interpolation. And may formula para mas mapadali yung pagkuha ng IRR instead of guessing the percentage na from like zero talaga. Ayun. And we can now move on sa mga formula nila. First is the payback. Ayan. Payback period, gaya na sinabi ko na, yung years bago siya nag-break even, and then you add the unrecovered amount over the cash flow in the recovery year. Kasi nga, kapag ang pagbibigay dito, usually by year siya, yung amount of cash na given. So you really have to determine anong part lang or ano ba, anong percentage nung year bago mo nakuha yung money mo back. And then add it dun sa years na natapos na hindi mo siya nakuha. Ayun. Which is yung before break-even niya. And then, mas ma-appreciate nyo siya kapag nag-Excel sheet na tayo. And then, next. Next is the net present value. For net present value, I use this table kasi mas madali siyang isolve kapag ginagamit natin yung table. Siyempre, dun sa leftmost, we will indicate the year. Ayan, year zero being the year where you invested on the asset. So, dahil doon, naglabas ka ng cash. Definitely negative yon sa cash flow mo. And then, you will multiply it by the present value. For year zero, laging 1.0000 yung cash, yung ano natin, yung present value. And then, pag multiply mo, obviously, yung negative amount nung cash flow. And then, for the next or the succeeding years, these may be inflows or outflows from the asset itself. And ayun, ilalagay mo lang value and then yung present value nila accordingly. So, after that, i-multiply mo yung cash flow and yung present value, you will get the amount in the rightmost part of the table. Tapos, at the end of the years na nag-generate ng cash flow, yung ating asset, we just add the value simula sa year zero. And then we will get the net present value. Ayun. And then for the next one, internal rate of return. So last sa mga formula natin, for internal rate of return, the IRR is equivalent to lower rate plus, ayan, HR minus LR multiplied by PV of LR minus PV of X over PV of LR minus PV of HR. Ayan. And so before internal rate of return, kaya madali siya kapag yung cash flows mo similar lang lagi or annually, they are similar. Kaso kasi there are times na hindi siya similar and may example ako mamaya para doon and paano natin siya mapapadali. Ayun. And let's move on na yan sa ating Excel. Tayo dito sa problem na to. Ayan. So for this problem, number one, focus tayo sa cash flows. And I believe nasa libro nyo, meron ding depreciation system na ginagamit sa US na inaral din namin noon. And although hindi siya ganun ka-relevant sa Philippines, since nasa book siya, we have to discuss it na lang din. And ayan. So for our first problem, on December 2024, Choco Corporation has earnings before depreciation and taxes of 420,000 and a tax bracket of 18%. Letter A, compute the cash flow for the company if depreciation is 90,000. So what do we have to do for this? All we really have to do is we use the pro forma na sinabi ko kanina. I will show it. Ayan. Eto. Ayan. So first, earnings before depreciation and taxes, and then we less the depreciation. We get the earnings before taxes. After that, we multiply it to the tax rate or ilagay natin yung tax value na binigay and then ililess natin to doon sa earnings before taxes and we'll get the earnings after taxes. After that, we add back the depreciation kasi non-cash transaction to or non-cash expense to and then we will get the final cash flow. So, ang sabi dito, Choco Corporation has earnings before depreciation and taxes of 420,000. Ilalagay ko lang siya according katapat. 420,000. For depreciation, ang sabi is 90,000. Lalagay ko lang din. So, minus natin. Bali, 420 minus, bali, 420 minus 90. We'll get 330. Yan. For taxes, ang sabi, ang tax bracket niya ay 18%. So, what do we do? We multiply 330 by 0.18 to get the taxes. Ayan. Makukuha natin dito is 59,400. Ngayon, for earnings before taxes, we can simply minus yung 330,000 or yung 59,400 rather, inilasan siya kay 330,000. Tapos, ang makukuha natin ay 270,600. Ngayon, kung tinatamad ka, gusto mo, diretso ka na sa earnings before depreciation, yung 330,000 na nakuha mo, you can simply multiply it to uh, 0.82%, which is 100 minus 18%, and then makuha mo 82%, diba? So multiply mo, you will get the same 207,600. And then you will add back the depreciation. And ano makukuha natin after natin na-add back yung depreciation natin? We will get 360,600. Okay? So ito yung basic problem for cash flow. As in, parang um, ang importante lang kasi dito is memorize mo yung pro forma and you will get kung ano man yung answer na hinihingi, which is more or less itong cash flow. Ayan. And then, we can move on dun sa medyo mas complicated na problem. Choco Corporation, ayan, letter D. Choco Corporation has a branch in the United States and wants to purchase new equipment that falls under the 3-year MACRS. What is MACRS? MACRS, ito yung depreciation system ng mga property sa United States. And MACRS stands for Modified Accelerated Cost Recovery System. Again, ginagamit lang siya sa US. So, di siya applicable sa Philippines. Kaya yung mga amounts natin dito, they are in dollar value. Ngayon. So the cost of the equipment is measured at 500,000. The earnings before depreciation and taxes for the next 4 years are as follows. Year 1 at 300,000, year 2 at 226,000, year 3 at 345,000, and year 4 at 180,000. It has a cost of capital of 15% and a tax bracket of 22%. Should the company continue the investment? Okay, so paano natin hihimayin to? Should the company continue the investment? It means we have to learn kung ano man yung magiging um, future income natin. Income, hindi naman income, pero need nating ma-determine if yung asset in the long run, it will be profitable for us or mag-end siya in a loss. So, what do we do? Meron tayong three methods and ang pinaka-reliable is the one that uses the uh, net present value method kasi nga we are considering the time value of money. So, before that, wala pa tayong cash flow. So, anong kailangan natin gawin? We have to make this cash flow statement again. However, meron siyang mas difficult, which is the MACRS. Hindi naman talaga siya difficult, pero mas mahaba siyang process, which is we have to find or solve the depreciation according to the table na to. Na usually naman given to kapag examination, lalo na hindi naman nga talaga natin siya ginagamit in the Philippine setting. So, how do we solve for it? We have to indicate ano muna yung year. Gawa tayong table. So, ayan. Year, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then, after that, we have to indicate the depreciation base. And the depreciation base is always the value na nilabas mo, yung cost, which is 500,000. Next, yung percentage of depreciation based on MACRS. Ito na yung tinutukoy ko. This is based on this table. Ayun, ang sabi 3-year. So, ito ang susundan natin. Yung una, yung 0.333, 0.445, 0.148, 0.074. And then the next one is, multiply mo lang sila to get the annual depreciation. Yeah. So, we just allocate the years, 1, 2, 3, 4. Ayan. For that, we will use the depreciation mix. Again, ang sabi ko, 500,000 lang lagi dito. And your percentage of depreciation, yung mga percentage nito sa 3-year MACRS. We multiply and get the annual depreciation. Okay, so, ayun. Try nyo na lang if I multiply it. I will get 166.5 na for this one. Oh, 500,000 times 0.445. You will get, ayan, 222,500. 500,000 times 0.148, you will get 74,000. Tapos 500,000 times 0.074, you will get 37,000. Okay, so since nakuha na natin yung depreciation, this shouldn't be a big problem na, di ba? Kasi na-establish na natin to, which is a huge obstacle in our way. So, we can finally focus saan? Sa cash flow. Again, itong format lang na to, sundin natin siya. Ayan. So, we put the earnings before depreciation and taxes, which is, ayan, given sila. For year 1, we have 300,000. For year 2, we have 226,000. For year 3, we have 345,000. And for year 4, we have 180,000. Ngayon, yung depreciation, hindi na big problem to. Ita-transpose lang natin tong values here dito. Yan. Okay? So, 300 minus 166.5, we get 1335. So naman, we get 35. For this, we get 271,000. And for this, we get 143,000. Taxes, ang tax bracket mo daw ay 22%. So, you just multiply this by 22%, like I said, if you're completing the table, or 100 minus 22%, which is 78%. Ayun. And you will get the earnings after taxes na. After that, you will just add back kung anumang value yung dineduct mo from the depreciation. Kasi nga, again, and I am really telling you na ulit-ulit, non-cash expense yung depreciation. Kasi minsan nakakalimutan nilang ina-add back. So that's why nagkakamali talaga. And sayang yung points dun. So, I just have to remind again and again. Okay, and then we'll get our final cash flows. This is for year one, this is for year two, year three, and year. Okay, so after natin magawa yung cash flow, hindi naman porke positive yung cash flow niya here, ay ano na siya, the company should continue the investment na. Again, we have to see the value pa along the years kung mag-end siya in a positive or a negative or surplus or profit or loss sa ating company. And to do that, we have to do the net present value method. And ang NPV, medyo matrabaho siya, pero workable naman. So, need natin ilagay yung year, yung cash flow, and, yung present value, tapos multiply lang again, and then, yeah, cash inflow or outflow, PV factor, and then present value. Anong sabi ko kanina? Lagi tayo mag-start sa year zero. Year zero, we have, ito, 500,000, di ba? It's a negative on our end. Bakit? Kasi nga, naglabas tayo ng cash. Ayan. Ang PV factor, ayan. Kahit, kahit i-try nyo yan, 1.00 yung makukuha nyo. Kasi, again, zero, year zero pa yan eh. So, ayun, multiply mo lang, you'll get negative 500,000 pa rin. For year 1, 2, 3, and 4, lagay na natin. Ayan. Ang cash natin, puro sila inflow based dito, no? And with that, we will just transpose the values here accordingly. So, ayan. For year 1, 276.30, year 2, 225.230, year 3, 285.380, year 4, 148.54. And then we'll just calculate the present value factor. Paano ba yan kapag basic calculator? Kasi naka-Excel to, so makaisipin nyo, madali kapag naka-Excel. Well, madali lang din naman when you use the basic calculator. So, ano lang natin yan, 1.15, divide, tapos equal. We'll get the year 1. Kasi kada equal mo is equivalent to 1. And we'll get 0.870. Kapag calculator, 0.86956 and so on. For year 2, 0.756. Kapag nakakalculate, same lang, 756,143 and so on. For year 3, 0.658. Sa calculate, 657,516. Ayun. And so on again. And for year 4, we get 0.571. 572 dito. 571,753 siya kapag nasa cal. Ayan. And then, again, we just multiply this to 70,630 times 0.870. You get, yan. Tapos, do the same for the rest. And you'll get, ayun, 17306 for year 2. For year 3, 187,641. For year 4, 84,928. And then, para mabilis natin makuha yung ating net present value, we'll just add this. Okay. All of these transactions. You just add them and you'll get the net present value of 178,206.88. Ngayon kasi, minsan, ang alam ko, tinuturo, hindi nilalagay itong zero. Ang ginagawa nila, 1, 2, 3, 4 lang as is. Wala, like, naka-omit itong buong row na to. And then, what they do is ito total nila to, and then, 500,000 less yung total nila. Same process lang naman. So, nilalagay ko na yung zero sa table kasi para ina-add na lang sila at the end, diba? Ayun. Okay? Sana nakakasunod and we'll move na dun tayo sa mga methods na sinabi ko, which is start tayo sa payback method and net present value. Ayan. So for payback method, St. Paul Hospital is planning on investing on medical equipment to improve its service and increase revenue. Currently, it is considering three investments, all options costing 110,000. The following cash flows are expected for the next 5 years, and the entity has a cost of capital of 16%. Ayan, given na lang siya. Hindi ko na babasahin kasi mahaba. And then, A, what is the best decision if the payback method is used as basis? Start tayo, payback method. Recall the formula, payback method is equal to years before break-even equals, hindi, years before break-even plus unrecovered amount over year of amount ng cash flow during the year of recovery. Ayan. Yan. So, what do we do? Ginawa ko dito is, nilagay ko lahat yung option A, B, and C. Ayan. Tapos, talagang mano-manong calculation siya. So, let's try. Option A. Sa year 1, meron siyang 50,000. Sa year 2, meron siyang 38,000. Hindi pa siya umaabot ng 110,000. So, carry lang. Di ba? Carry lang. For year 3, meron siyang 42,000. And kapag tinotol mo to, 130,000 na agad. Oh, sobra siya ng 20,000. So, what do we do? Ilang years bago siya sumobra? Or makumpleto? 2 years, di ba? So, we add the number. Ayan, lalagay natin yung 2 years. Okay? Tapos, after nun, we just simply add, ano, ano yung process natin for that? Unrecovered amount, 50,000 plus 38,000. And yung natitira, and 110,000 yung full amount. So, ililefts natin yun. Ang unrecovered is 22,000 pa. So, ang gagawin natin equals 22,000 over 42,000. We get this value. Ayan. After that, we just add them. Like, ganun siya kasi, add mo lang siya. You'll get 2.5238 years. Years kapag payback years ang pinag-uusapan. Ngayon, try yung option B. Again, 110,000. Kasi silang lahat, 110,000. So, 65,000 plus 19,000 plus 22,000. 106,000 pa rin. So, kulang pa siya ng 4,000, which marirecover natin kay year 4. Ayan. So, ang marirecover natin is 4,000 daw. Ang kulang pa. Ilang years to? 3 years. Ano natin 3 years here? Add. Tapos, what we do is, yung remaining 4,000, i-divide natin dun sa na-recover niya kay year 4, which is 85,000. You will get 0.0471. Ayan. Add. Simply add. Yeah. Okay? Okay, option C naman, we 58,000 plus 56,000. We get 114,000. Sobra na siya, year 2 pa lang. Ang lalagay natin dito niyan is 1 plus 1. 114,000. So, ang ilan ba yung kailangan natin? 100, bali ang gagawin natin yan is 58,000. Ilas natin sa 110,000. So, get 52,000. So, 52,000 pa yung unrecovered niya and nare-recover siya dito sa year 2. So, 52,000 over 56,000. You'll get this. 0.92857 or 0.9286 rounded off sa Excel. Ayan. Oh. Ang tanong, what is the best decision if the payback method is used as basis? Kapag payback method, ano ang best decision natin lagi? It is the quickest. So, yung pinakamabilis ma-recover. Ito, 2 years, 2.5. Ito, 3. Ito, 1.9. Ayan. So, ang quickest natin is si letter C, si option C. Ayan. So, ito yung sagot. Okay? Hindi ko pala nag-ring yung kanina. Okay. So, after that, let's move on to letter B na. What is the best decision if the net present value is used as basis? Now, net present value, tinuro ko na kanina. Paano ang ginagawa natin? Um, Mano-mano yan. And nakita na natin dito, which is this. Ayan. Per ano yan, per option, we will have to make a table similar to this. So, ayun. For option A, sama-sama natin siyang solve. And then you can, i-show ko na lang yung answers sa option B and C. Although, I will still guide naman. Ayan. For option A, yan. Year cash inflow, PV factor 16 at 16% kasi nga cost of capital niya is 16%. Tama ba? Ayan. So what we do here is we just allocate as I said earlier. Yan, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kasi 5 years. Cash inflows nila given. Copy the cash inflows from option A. Sometimes outflow yan. So, lagay lang natin. For the PV factor, we compute it. 1.16 divided by 12. Ayan. 0.082862. 1 sa year 0. Pero dito 0.8621. For year 2, we get 0.743. Mm. For year 3, we get 0.640. For year 4, we get 0.552. And then for year 5, we get 0.476. Yeah. We multiply and we get the present value. Yeah. After that, we just add them. We just add them. So we will get the net present value of 8571.76. Ngayon, you have the option to try, um, ayan, ito, yung letter B and or rather, option B and option C. Yeah. You can pause this naman if ayaw yung, nakikita ka. Sinabi kung kailan kinakita na. Anyway, ayun, lagay ko dito. Okay. So after getting the net present values, you can go and determine ano ba ang best option. For net present value, although positive silang lahat and you can invest anything, ang tanong is best decision. For best decision, we will have to go with the one with the highest net present value. So the answer would be letter B, or rather option B. Okay? Ngayon, meron pang hinihingi, which is the profitability index. For profitability index, hindi mo na need masyadong mag-worry. Why? Kasi, kapag na-compute mo yung net present value, malaki yung chance is, nakuha mo na yung mga values. Hindi naman malaki yung chance. Definitely, nakuha mo na yung mga values na kailangan mo to compute the profitability index. And to solve for the profitability index, you have to get the sum of all your transactions, itong mga cash inflow natin or outflow, sa sum natin sila. For this one, for option A, 118,571.76. Ito ang total niya. And you have to divide it with the cash outflow nung investment here, or yung cash outflow nung nag-invest ka, which is 110,000. Ayan. So, ayun. Ito lang, divide mo sa 110,000. Dito hindi mo i-negative ha. Baka mamaya i-negative natin. Pero hindi mo siya considered na negative kapag sinusolve yung profitability index. Kasi mag-negative yung profitability index mo. Ayan. So, you'll get uh 1.08 for option A. For option B naman, you'll get 1.33. And for option C, you'll get 1.24. So, with that, ano sa tingin nyo yung best natin option? Definitely, it's option B. Kasi siya yung may highest profitability index. Ayan. Okay? So, move on na tayo. So, C pala to. C. Lagay ko yung C. Hindi nyo pala makikita yung C kasi uh, tawag dito. Ayan. Okay. So, move on na tayo sa next part, which is yung IRR and capital rationing. Oh my God, ito yung pinaka madugong lesson. I'm telling you guys. Kasi super stressful talaga ng IRR. Pero may madaling way. And ayun. Usually for solving problems like this ng exam, kasi matatagalan ka talaga if you have to compute the present value kasi hindi pa standardized yung answer nyo. So what they do is they give us a PV factor table na lang and then you determine, di ba? For this, para since wala akong makita na PV factor table and ayun, from 1% onwards, kinuha ko na lang yung pinakamalapit dun sa values nito. Pero kapag kapag examination, from 1 to 20 yata binibigay. So, start natin. Mhm. Xiaolongbao Company wants to purchase processing equipment for its food production business. The machine needed cost 50,000 and the entity has a cost of capital worth 18%. The cash flows for the next 3 years are as follows. 2025 at 25,000, 2026 at 23,000, 2027 at 18,000. We can just label them year 120. So 120. Tapos, find the internal rate of return and determine if the machine should be purchased. Ngayon, pinapahanap sa atin yung IRR. Diba? So, what do we do? We just follow yung formula ang sinend ko kanina. So, we can simply do that. Kasi, mahirap. Bakit? Ito yung sinasabi ko kaninang iba-iba sila ng cash flow. Therefore, you have to um, do something before you can follow the formula para hindi na mahirap hanapin yung pinakamalapit na rate. And for what I did is, ito yung steps. First step is you average the cash flows. Yeah. How do you average the cash flows, ate? What I do is, ito, 25,000, itong for year 1, add ko 23,000 for year 2, and then for 27, year 3, 18,000. Tapos, di-divide ko lang by 3. Simple, literal na average lang siya. You get 22,000. Okay? And after averaging the cash flows, sabi, divide investment with assumed annuity. Etong 22,000, ito yung tinatawag nating assumed annuity. Kasi nga, yung tatlo, in-average lang natin siya. Diba? Yung tatlong transaction. Okay? So, ayan. Gagawin natin. Ito. Investment. Ang investment natin is worth 50,000. Ito, cost 50,000. Then we divide it by 22,000, which is the assumed annual. We get 2.2727. Ala, hindi pa ito yung rate ha. Bahala nyo, yun na yung rate. Hindi pa. May third step pa tayo. Find the closest values in the PV factor table. And since wala yung PV factor table natin na mahaba, yun na nga lang pinakamalapit yung nilagay ko dito, which is 14, 15, 16, and 17. Okay? So, anong gagawin natin? Hanapin natin yung value na pinakamalapit. 2.2727. Nasaan? Eto. You look at the annuity, no? Hindi yun dun sa interest factor. We use the annuity when looking for that. So, ito 2.28 and then 2.24. So parang based dito sa sunod natin, nasa gitna siya ng 15% and 16%. This is just a rough estimate. Again, hindi necessarily nasa gitna siya ng 15% or 16%. Pero siya yung parang pinakamalapit. So, we have to try using those amounts, diba? So, somehow may pagka-trial and error pa rin, pero mas approximate. Parang ganoon siya. So, ayan, let's start. Lagay natin yung rate. Ayan, rate. For, ayan, so 15%, tapos blank 16%. Then we put the present value. The present value, ano ba yung present value? The present value ay 15,000, 50,000 lagi. Okay. Yun. The present value ay 50,000. So, anong gagawin natin? Sa 15%, anong gagawin natin? To get yung present value nito, we have to multiply itong 25,000 doon sa interest factor. So, si 15%, 25,000 times itong 0.86957. After getting that, i-add mo siya kay 23,000 multiplied by ito, 0.75614. And then, i-add mo yung 18,000 multiplied by 0.65752. 25,000 times, again, 25,000, multiply mo siya by 0.86957. Interest factor ni present value at or present value interest factor at 15% year 1. And then, si 23,000 kay year 2. And then, si 18,000 kay year 3. Tapos, after mo silang i-multiply sa kanya-kanya nilang, sa corresponding interest factors nila, you just add them. Okay? Total mo lang sila. You'll get this value, 5965.73. Okay. 'Di ba? Ang hirap. Charot. Hindi na siya mahirap. Matrabaho lang. And then, so anong gagawin ko yan? You just do the same process kay 16,000. Si 25,000, multiply mo siya kay 0.86207. Si 23,000 kay 0.74316. And then si 18,000 kay 0.64066. Total mo ulit sila and you'll get 50,176.31. Okay? Okay. Ngayon, sa tingin ba natin, nasa gitna siya ng 15% and 60%? No, di ba? Based dito sa ginawa natin, we already know this won't work. Bakit? Kasi 50,000 is less than 5176. And it's also less than 596573. So, what can we do? Ang pwede natin gawin is, gawin natin ulit yung table na to. Pero, we will use yung naunang rate, which is 16%, kasi nga, ito yung pinakamalapit. And then, babaan pa natin siya ng isa. Okay? So, ito. Lalagay lang natin 16% dito. Question mark, 50,000. And then, we do the same process nung kanina, kay 17% naman. 25,000 times 0.8547 plus 23,000 times 0.73051 plus 18,000 times 0.62437. Ito. And we'll get 49,408. Nasa gitna na ba siya? Yes, nasa gitna na siya. With that, we already know na we could use the formula. Kasi napunta na siya sa gitna ng values. With that, follow lang natin yung formula, which is, ayan, IRR. Lower rate, so 16%, add mo dun sa higher rate minus lower rate, 17% minus 16%. Yan. Tapos itong 5176.31 minus 50,000. Present value ha, ito yon. Kaya maganda, isolve nyo na yung present value kasi mas madali na siya, hindi na siya tumatagal kasi nilalagay mo na lang sa formula mo. Ayan, 5176.31 tapos minus 50,000. Tapos over 5176.31 minus lower, minus higher rate, which is 49,408. After that, you will get, solve mo lang siya, and then you will get this, 0.162 or 16.23%. Okay? Yun yung ating IRR and we solved it na. Ngayon, how do we check? Atiza, baka mali yan, ha? Kasi nag-rough estimate lang tayo. Kung gusto niyo ano, i-double check, kung naka-Excel kayo, ha? You can try by using the formula IRR. Ayan. Tapos yung ilalagay ko yung series of cash flow, which is, wait lang, lagay tayo ng cash flow, no? 25,000 for year 1, 23,000, 18,000. Yan. Tapos equals IRR. Wait lang, nakalimutan ko pala yung cash flow. Lagay ko muna si cash flow at 50,000. Ang unang cash, or rather yung unang outflow natin or investment natin. Nakalimutan ko siya. Lagay ko siya. Okay? So, ito. Tuloy natin siya. Equals IRR. Tapos, ito. you'll get 16%. If i-decimal natin siya, may konting difference yan. Ayan, 0.2271. 0.20. Tama? Tama siya. Okay? So, ayun, no need lang pahirapan kung naka-Excel ka, di ba? Dali-dali lang. Ayan. Pero if hindi, ito talaga yung long way and easy your way. Kapag hindi talaga sila even, you do this 4 steps. Pero kapag even sila, mas madali na lang. Next. Next problem, punta tayong capital rationing. Shopper company makes its company decisions through the process of capital rationing. The firm's cost of capital is equivalent to 12% and is willing to invest up to 85,000 for the year 2025. The internal rates of return are determined for its expected long-term projects. Okay, given. Given? Okay. What projects should Shopper company set in and tanong? Ang solution lang dito, halaga, when it comes to capital rationing, since may budget ka na 85,000. You just have to arrange the projects by their internal rate. Kung sino yung pinakamataas, get it? Ayun, parang ganun lang yung gist niya. I-arrange lang natin sila. So, yeah, project size, IRR. Sundin natin itong format na niya. Ano yung pinakamalaki? C, project F, 26% then. Next is C project G, 24%. Next is C project B, 21%. Next is C project C, 18%. Tapos C, E, 16%. And then C, F, ay, C, A, 15%. And then C, D, 14%. Okay? Ngayon, ang sabi, 85,000 pesos lang yung meron ka to invest. What do you do? You check the project size. Ano yung mga project na papasok sa budget? So, 26,000 plus 35,000 plus 12,000 plus 12,000. Sakto, 85,000. Okay. So, the highest IRR, definitely, they are the answer to the problem. To the problem. Okay? So, nakuha natin ang i-invest natin or i-accept natin si FGBNC. Hey, ito na yung pinaka-gist dito, yung mutually exclusive. Anong gagawin natin? Sino lang, you just have to get yung base IRR. You just have to rearrange them based sa IRR. Kaso si BNC daw mutually exclusive. Same solution ng kanina. Pero kung papansinin nyo, si E, siya yung nilagay natin. Bakit? Kasi same lang naman yung cost niya, 12,000. Mag-yield lang siya ng lesser value. Pero, same lang yung gagastusin na 12,000. Naabot siya sa 85,000. Tama ba? And at the same time, bakit natin tinanggal si C? Kasi nga, hindi pwedeng kasama si BNC since they are mutually exclusive. Yun lang talaga yung gist dito sa capital fraction. Okay? Now, move on na tayo sa last, which is tax losses and gains. The Knight Company is a slip-handling medication business who has a branch in the United States. The company purchased equipment 3 years ago for 180,000, falling into the 5-year category for MACRS depreciation and a 27% tax bracket. Calculate the tax loss on the sale and the related tax benefit if the asset is sold now for 14,160, and the taxable gain and related tax on sale if the asset is sold now for 41,820. Madali lang to, kaso, again, mahaba yung process ng MACRS depreciation. And I think you can solve it na on your own. So, ano na lang natin? Year, 3 years, ay 5-year category daw. So, lagay natin. Yan. 5 years, pero until year 4 lang siya yung binigay. So, you just have to put that depreciation base is 108,000 yung value na in-invest mo. Oo nga, baka mamaya nagtataka kayo. Nagtataka kayo, oh my God. Charot. 4 years to have. Hindi siya 3 years. 3 years. 4 years. Tapos, multiply lang natin sa percentage. 0.2, 0.32, 0.192, and 0.115. Okay? Annual depreciation, apply, you get these amounts. And you get the total depreciation to be of 148,860,000. After mo i-add dyan sa year 1 to 4. Okay? After doing that, what do we do? Paano natin ika-calculate? We're at a loss kasi nga, parang sinoblang natin yung depreciation. Ano yun next? How do you find yung loss or gain on sale ba? First, we have to determine magkano natin siya pinili. Pinili natin siya at 150,000. Tama? Ngayon, ang natitira niyang uh, value, paano na ma-determine? Ibabawas natin yung depreciation. We get the book value of 31,140. Okay? Ay, saan nakuha na natin yung book value niya? Ngayon, how do we determine the loss or gain? Definitely, ililes natin yung book value doon sa ating ano, selling price. So, book value natin, 31,140. Selling price, 14,160. Higher ba ang book value kay selling price? Oo, definitely, there's a loss when it's like that. So, we get 16,980. Yun yung tax loss on sale natin. Ngayon, hinihingi benefit. Hala, ang dami hinihingi. Mabilis lang to. I-multiply mo lang siya sa tax rate. So, yung tax loss on sale, multiply mo sa tax rate, you get this, the tax benefit. Similar concept lang when it comes to related tax on sale or tax liability slash obligation. So, ayun. Basically, dahil nakuha mo na to, you just use these values na lang din. Input natin si sales price. Ang sales price niya, 41,820. Ang book value niya, 31,140. Anong mas mataas? Sales price. Definitely, it's a gain. So, less lang natin, we'll get 10,680. Yun yung taxable gain natin. Okay. And then, like yung sa tax benefit, multiply lang natin sa tax rate times 27%. And then we will get the tax liability or tax obligation of 1,883.6. Ayun. So, yun lang naman. I know medyo yapper. Yapper ako dito sa tutorial na to. Pero I hope na may natutunan naman kayo. And, ayun. Siguro, from that, since na-cover na natin yung gist, what you can do is you try solving your problems na nasa libro. And maraming problems na medyo similar dito. And you can check them naman online kasi usually nasa online yung mga keys, gano'n, or yung mga sinagutan na dati ng mga tao. And somehow quite reliable naman. Okay? So, that's it. And I hope na you will all pass your exam for financial management as well as yung other subjects. Sana may natutunan kayo and you can access this sheet doon sa ating description box or comment section. Once again, have a great day and enjoy your spirit. See you on the next. Bye.